Welcome to Vintage Voices, the exclusive space where wisdom is timeless and the golden years are just the start of bold new adventures. This podcast is a heartfelt partnership between the Kannon Studios Network and the Arbors at Bridgemill. Each week, we uncover the treasure trove of tales kept tucked away in the heart of our society's most seasoned storytellers, our seniors. From the echoes of history they witnessed firsthand to the laughter and tears that crafted their lives. These narratives are far too precious to be left untold. So lend us your ears as we delve into the uncharted memoirs of those who've lived a lifetime of love, lessons, and legacy. Vintage Voices, where every wrinkle is a tale waiting to be told.
It was an experience, to say the least. But I really liked Tanzania. I really would have liked to work there. Yeah. But,
So what brought you to Georgia?
I retired.
Where did you retire from?
I worked at City College of New York, and when I retired, it, of course, is much cheaper to live here than in New York. So I moved south, and my brother had already bought a house down here. So I bought a house down here, and but
The weather's much nicer, isn't it?
well, yeah.
Except for the humidity.
The humidity is the humidity in New York, I think, is worse.
Oh, really?
Oh, the humidity in New York is very high.
I would never have guessed there was humidity in New York.
Well, I lived in Manhattan.
Oh.
So it's the water.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the water is there. And we had very high humidity in the 90s. And, yeah. So it's not. Plus all of the buildings,
Yes.
which absorb the heat.
Exactly. It's hot.
Yeah.
It's hot, and it's muggy.
It's muggy.
It's muggy.
Yeah.
Last time I was in New York, we were walking in the city, and it was just muggy.
Oh, yeah, it's muggy.
And so many people.
The last time I went to New York to visit, which now must be almost 10 years ago. And I was walking down the street, and I said, I just can't come back here anymore because getting away from the crowds and having so much space, and then walking down the street in New York, it was like everybody was in my space.
Yes.
And I couldn't. I just said I can't deal with this anymore.
Isn't it something else that after you go, like you don't live there anymore, and then
Yeah.
you go back to visit, you hear every horn honk. It's like,
Yeah.
how many horns can honk at one time? I mean, like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh my heavens. And they drive like,
Well, I think the people here drive worse than the people in
do
New
you
York.
really?
I really do.
Oh, wow. Well, we're pretty fast. We're fast. But I guess it's just the taxi cabs up there. They're like,
Yeah. But driving down here in comparison to driving in New York, I said, these people are crazy.
I've heard so many people say that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
We don't use blinkers.
No.
And they cut in and out, and I said, I've never seen people drive like this.
That's true now.
Yeah.
It's like we're always on a raceway.
Yeah. So it was very different,
Do you still drive?
Now I just sold my car about 6 months ago. Yeah.
Was that
And,
hard?
Uh, yeah, because I have to depend on people
Right.
to get around anymore.
But I tell you, the beauty of being here is they take you somewhere all the time.
Yeah, they take you to wherever you want to go.
Yeah. And I believe there's a guy also, there's a card right out there.
Yeah, who drives.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's great.
yeah. What's his name? I took him once.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, but now I use the bus.
Yeah.
Uh, when I for doctor's appointments and things like going out to lunch
Sure.
and stuff.
Well, I tell you, I do this. I look at a lot of assisted livings, and I work with a lot of assisted livings. You definitely are in the cream of the crop here.
Yeah, that's what people say.
Oh, yeah. It's like I said before. This is like a cruise ship on land.
Yeah,
it has
is.
everything.
They have everything.
Yeah, if you don't want to do this, just go over here and you
Yeah.
can do this,
Right. Yeah, they
which is
have
wonderful.
everything. So or you can
Just
you
go
know,
be in your room.
yeah. So and they have little spaces on the floor where you can work puzzles
Oh, yeah.
or stuff like
I love a
that.
puzzle.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot when I first moved in here.
What do you do here now?
I play bingo, and I do, they have a thing called Fun and Games on Monday, which is sort of cognitive, and try to keep your
Yeah.
mind.
Mind stimulated.
Yeah. So I do that, and what else do I do?
They have good food.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
And
I gained a lot of weight.
well, you know, the
so
portions
that-
are big here, which is unbelievable.
Well,
really good sized
when
portions.
I first moved here, you would not believe the food that they had.
How long
It's-
have you been here?
5 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I first moved here, it was like really 5-star dining.
Yes. And the Sunday buffet was amazing.
Yeah.
I used to come to that almost.
Oh, you did?
My mother-in-law lives here.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's incredible. And then
COVID.
COVID. Yeah. And we lost our chef. Not through death. He
Correct.
left. And he was so good. He was really good. And then it's not like it was back then, you know. I mean, they really had select choices, you know, in terms of food.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
So, do you have any children or grandchildren?
No, because I never got married.
Well, all right.
I did other things.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
No, I didn't get married. I had relationships, but I
Well, good for you.
didn't get married. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Miss Olga forgot to mention that she leads a women's book club.
Oh, you lead a book club. Tell us about that.
Well, we do nonfiction books, mainly dealing with the state of our union, which is not the best.
That's
I need to come to that.
a lack of that's putting it mildly, isn't it?
That's putting it mildly, because I am very fearful that this country is moving very rapidly towards fascism, and I don't know what will happen if we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our next election will determine the direction of our country.
Mm-hmm.
And
You've seen a lot in all your years, haven't you?
I have. And I remember as a kid, seeing what went on in Germany, with the Jews, uh, and it could happen here. That's what's so scary, because we have a rise of Nazism in this country, and that's scary. It's scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I'm not, well, I think if I was younger, I'd be out of here. I'd find some place else
Mm-hmm.
to live. But,
It's funny. It's very different. I have a grandchild. I have a child that's 36.
yeah.
And I have a grandchild. And we talk about this quite often. The difference in raising him versus what my grandson is being raised now
Right.
is completely different.
Right. I mean, you look at schools, and they're, number one, they don't teach civics anymore, and the schools, American schools, are being dumbed down. We can't compete in the world, and we wonder why everyone we see who's professional is from another country. You go to the hospital.
You're right.
What are your doctors? They
They're
are
all
not
Patel.
American. They're not American.
I mean, that's, yeah.
Yeah. Engineers. I worked at City College, where there was a School of Engineering. The School of Engineering at City College, particularly the graduate school, was not American at all. They were Asian, they were African, they were not European at all, but they were Asian and African,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the ones that were getting advanced degrees in engineering,
That's true.
Yeah. So that's when you look at even the corporate world and the people who are doing designs and things like that,
They're not American.
They're not American.
Mm-mm.
And our kids on tests now, they can't even pass math and reading.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They can't write. They print.
Well, they don't teach them to even
They
write
don't
anymore.
teach them.
No cursive.
Yeah. So how do you compete in a world where you have kids that learn languages, 2 and 3 languages, in elementary school? How do you compete with them?
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
That's true.
So
That's so true.
yeah. So our world, well, when I was in college, they talked about economic powers and how they shift. And we're in the process of shifting to a much lower position on the economic scale. And maybe China will be number one.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately.
Yeah, because they're the ones that have been really educated. Plus, they travel. When I was traveling, wherever you would go, you would see Chinese, and touring the world. And also, when I was in Tanzania, uh, the Chinese were there helping to build factories and things like that. Americans didn't do that. When we went in, we built things like baseball fields and stuff. Yeah, I mean, really stupid stuff that they didn't use. The Chinese went in and met with their leaders and what do you need? We need manufacturing and this is what they would bring.
Their way of thinking is so much more forward than ours
Yes.
by tens and 20s of years.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. So and when you're helping developing countries, you need to start where they are, not where you want to be. You know.
It's kind of like people. You meet them where they're at.
Yeah, you meet them where they are. And
Yeah, where they are. I shouldn't have said that, should I? Where they are.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I need that. You would think I would have better English. I'm married to a principal, so hey.
Oh God, it's unreal.
So how did you start? Excuse me. How did you start this book club? And do you have a lot of participation?
Not here, because the book club originated outside.
Okay.
And there were 3 of us, and I forget what crisis it was. There was something going on. It may have been, it was around the election of our former president. And so a group of us got together and well, maybe we need to understand the dynamics of what's going on in this country to understand how, now being a New Yorker, I have really knowledge of Mr. Trump.
He was huge in New York for years.
He's a New Yorker.
Yeah, he was Mr. New York, wasn't he? I mean, so to speak, in his own mind.
In his own mind. Mm-hmm. But he was also very well connected with the mafia. And
I did not know that.
That's the thing that, I mean, he is not a good person, you know. And I said, how could anyone, I mean, he used to hang around with the consigliere of the mafia in New York. And he laundered mafia money in his casinos in Atlantic City. You know, he's not a nice man. So, so I was very, very troubled when he was elected president. Mm-hmm. And I'm even more troubled that he may be elected again, because I think that if he is, we're going to have a dynasty in this country.
Can you elaborate on that? You're brilliant, by the way.
You are.
I know. I'm in awe. I'm sorry. I'm like, could you please keep speaking?
Yes.
Tell me what you mean by that.
His children are going to succeed him. And it's it's set up that way. And if he's elected, that's not the end of the Trump dynasty.
Oh,
it's the
okay.
beginning of it, you know. And they're scary, you know. He is so full of rage, you know. And most of the people in his cabinet who have talked about him talk about that. They talk about the rage and how he would have temper tantrums, you know, in their meetings, throw things and stuff. He is not a well man. He isn't. In addition to which, he's a classical sociopath. I don't know. It just.
I guess you do know a whole lot, being that you lived in New York.
Yeah.
Y'all were like on boots on the ground.
Yeah.
You saw things.
Yeah, we saw. And New York City did not vote for Trump. They did not. I mean, overwhelmingly, they did not vote for him because they knew him, you know. But he's a sociopaths they can con you out of your
shoes.
Yeah. So he knows how to sell himself, you know. And to use what people are afraid of. And there's a lot of fear in this country because the population is shifting and people are afraid.
And you know, that's the one thing we should never be, is afraid.
Yeah.
Fear not.
Fear not.
For I am God.
Yeah.
But it's hard with the way the world is today.
Yeah.
And you see it changing.
Oh, yeah.
Rapidly.
Oh, yeah, it's going to change. It's going to change.
Well, I just hope he comes and gets me before all of it happens, so I can go home.
Well, I hope it's not. I hope and pray that when the change comes, it's for the better, not for the worse. Yeah.
As the sun sets on this episode of Vintage Voices, we tuck away the stories shared today into that cherished album of our collective history. We send a heartfelt thank you to our remarkable guest from the Arbors at Bridgemill, and also to our listeners for joining this journey through time. Remember, each wrinkle holds a story, each story a lesson, and every lesson is a step towards legacy. Until next time, keep the conversations alive. Honor the voices of our wisest companion to weave your own tale into life. From all of us at Kannon Studios Network, thank you for listening to Vintage Voices, where the past speaks and we listen.